What is time? Who is time? Where is time? Time. Time. Time? Good thing we have a lot of it, and by it, I mean time. We saw Megalopolis, so you know what that means.
Women just in the Kelly, or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul, and the beautiful June. Gonna take you from the boom all the way to the room. Renegades and street fighter help to blow off steam. Just a sucker punch the odd life for Timothy Green. Sharp needles, birdemic, how we staying alive. They call him the badass and he's on the line. Cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice. Cause the bad Jim Barney looking kinda nice. All in June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They're just a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and hello, people of New York. We are live at the New York Comedy Festival, back at Town Hall, talking about a fable of our time. That's right, Megalopolis, a film that has been in production since 1991. But then actual production in 2023. Now, here is the thing. I normally spend this time at the top of the show trying to break down the plot. Just in case you didn't see it. Oh, it's about a kid who gets a crazy pair of glasses and he learns how to fly. I can't break down this movie. An alternate New York, an architect, a mayor, a Fox News host, I don't know. It seems like so much happens, but yet so little, but yet so long. And yet I couldn't turn my eyes away. The film came out just a couple of weeks ago. I pre-ordered it, I bought it, only to find out it was only available for rental, so I paid $27.99 and then $19.99. I got fucked on this movie. But I did it all for you, because this is a movie for New York. This is your movie. And let's break it down with my two co-hosts. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Jason Mantzoukas.
Yes! Time! Stop! What's up, jerks? Let's go! We have to be out by 11:30. Fuck it, we're locking the doors! We're staying till dawn! Everybody gets Megalon! Seriously, what is Megalon?
Apparently, it can stop or repair bullet wounds and build buildings.
Wow. So you paid twice for it.
Yeah.
So we both had very complicated relationships to this movie, because I accidentally, a 2.5-hour movie, I accidentally watched 25 minutes twice.
What?
Because I didn't recognize them as things I'd already seen before. The movie repeats itself so much that I was like, I feel like they did this already. And then they got to a point where it's like, oh, fuck!
I might have talked about this in another episode, but when I saw Requiem for a Dream, the projectionist messed up and played the second reel twice. And I was like, ooh, this is an interesting choice. And then...
Non-linear storytelling.
I've already seen it, but now I'm watching again. Now I'm learning more. And then he came out and was like, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. And then it really fucked me up. I never want to watch that movie again. But the benefit of this movie is no matter how many times you watch it, it won't make sense.
It is cryptic at best. It is a series of dreamscapes.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen,
Let's
June,
go.
Diane,
Let's go.
Rayfield.
No, because we only have till
I knew we were-
11:30.
I knew we were
We
getting
only
too
have till
close.
11:30, so I had to come out.
I knew we were getting too close to it.
It's
Had to
so
cut away.
late. It's so late already. We can't
You know-
start a show now.
We
I
got
had-
the coveted 9:45 slot.
I'm 51 years old. I can't do a show at this hour.
You know, Paul, did you say you bought the movie twice?
Yes.
Okay, and I bought it once.
So we
So
have
as a
spent
family-
24, 19, and 19. So we have spent over $60 on Megalopolis.
Francis Ford Coppola, thank
Wow.
you. You've
Well-
gone a long way to making him whole from this.
Him personally whole. So I had an interesting experience on the plane because I was sitting next to our 10-year-old son, not the one that was out here, but our 10-year-old and well, first of all, I had to cover a lot of the movie with my book and try to hide it from him, but I fell asleep. And I fell asleep for a while, and he woke me up, and I screamed at him. I was like, "What are you doing?" I was sleeping, and he's like, "I thought you were supposed to watch the movie." I go, "I am."
Well,
Don't ever do that.
I would love it if you opened your notebook and he had taken notes for the section that you'd fallen asleep. He
I
just
was
took
so-
expert notes on the movie.
by the way, our son has said that when we die, he's taking over the show.
He
Great,
did say that.
great.
He did say that.
Wait,
He was
does
ready for it.
that include me?
No, you get to stay.
Oh, I get to
Yeah.
stay? Fuck yeah, I'll do a show with 2 kids. Any
well-
babies in the house?
I don't know if I told you
You
this
brought a
yet.
baby? What? You wish?
Not cool. Don't say you wish you brought a baby. No circumstance is that good. I wish I brought my baby? Sure. A baby.
I wish I had a baby to bring to a 9:45 comedy show.
Let's play clip 10 because we can look
We're
at it.
gonna
and it-
watch clips?
Well, all I'm going to say is this. Megalopolis was meant to be seen on IMAX, so imagine this scene with the boner in IMAX.
We came to pay our respects, Grandpa.
What do you think of this boner I got? One look at her and I'm off. If it wasn't for this, I would have been able to outspend you in the end. But I will outlive you. Wall Street slut.
Look at how small that
This
is.
is your closing bell.
Boom! That bow is not going to produce that many pounds of torque. And boom! Oh!
This man,
Okay, old man Legolas.
that is, wow. I mean, watching it again, he seems like if you put a gun in his hand, I wouldn't be as afraid. The bow and arrow makes him seem dangerous and crazy.
Yes. Well, also, I love that he's just closing one eye. For the first half, he's just like, I don't know. And then he's like, ha ha! Cling! Cling! Like he's like suddenly Robin Hood.
He's been preparing for this for so long.
Oh, I mean, welcome.
Do you think that the arrows were made out of Megalon?
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think so, because I think only Adam Driver has access to Megalon, which I
Okay.
don't know. I genuinely...
From outer space.
I believe it is from outer space.
Okay, so here's what I thought, and I could be wrong because I was, again, in and out of my own fever dream and then tapping into this one. But I thought that when he went to go rescue his wife,
Yes.
Sunny Hope,
Sunny Hope.
from the water.
And was that going to be the daughter's name if they had a daughter? And if it was
they
a boy,
did have
it
a
was
daughter.
Francis?
Francis!
They said if it was a boy, it would be Francis. And I was like, movie, get fucked. I'm not interested in what this is about now.
I mean, these names, Caesar Catalina, You have Franklin
And
Cicero.
and no Catalina wine mixer jokes to be found.
Wow Platinum.
Incredible.
Claudio Pulcher. Crassus. Fundy. And Sunny Hope.
I thought when Sunny Hope.
Sunny Hope is the Virgin, I think. Oh, no.
No,
You're right. Sorry, Honey Hope.
That's someone else.
Vestra, I think. is her
Vestra,
name?
right, yes.
Vestra,
Vestra,
a Vestal Virgin?
Yes. Vesta,
Oh my God.
Like in the Procol
the-
Harum song?
The Virgin
Vesta
auction.
Sweetwater is her name.
What?
Vesta Sweetwater is her
Oh,
name.
yes. Vesta Sweetwater.
Oh, stop saying all these
Ugh.
names. They're so
Sweet.
terrible. Both Paul and I thought Adam Driver did a wonderful job.
Me
And I
too.
really did, because I was watching his performance and I'm like, well, first of all, that hair was so tough. And I don't know what any of us could have done with it. Like, it truly was so difficult. And I know the cut. I know it's the Caesar cut. But there were times...
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yes, didn't you? I mean, wasn't it giving you full-blown George Clooney from season 2 of ER?
What it made me feel was like, can you comb your hair? It felt like his hair was never.
And that's what was upsetting. It's not a cut that any person can pull off. Any
Not even
person.
Caesar.
Yeah, not even Caesar.
How about Little Caesar? Pizza.
But on him,
Haircut.
it also looked like, yeah, can you put a comb through it? Can you fix it a little bit?
Like spread some Megalon in it. See
Please.
what's up.
See what happens.
Give it a sheen. Give it a gloss.
I really thought that he did a great. First of all, his soliloquy. I thought his Shakespeare was the best part of the movie, and I wanted more of
that
it.
was something that was not written for the film.
But boy,
that was when he just
Adam Driver can handle the text.
Yes,
I thought he
Adam-
did a beautiful job.
I think Adam Driver was like, "Can I improvise?" Because apparently, spoiler alert, they improvised a lot of this movie.
Wait, no. This wasn't tightly scripted?
I want to say this is what is on record. Coppola adopted an experimental style, encouraging his actors to improvise and write certain scenes during the shoot and added them at the last minute into the script. The art department and visual effects team, among others, left midway through the production. It's fair to say it is well documented this movie was flying by the seat of its pants, which is odd for a film that he's been writing since 1991.
That's the thing.
That is what's so tough.
And think there would be some sort of ... plot? Story?
It's a movie of ideas. It's like, is it? To me, this movie is a guy who has listened to a podcast about Roman history and is really high and going, what would be great is this. And then you have a guy, he's like Caesar, and he's like, but it's the city, but it's also the Statue of Liberty, the torches in the other hand. And then they're all running around, and then there's about homeless people, and it's about New York, and it's about life and fucking. And you're like, right. But you would never make that movie. You just go home and go to bed. And he made it.
Instead, you sell a substantial amount of money of your own personal money in your wine company at value to finance this insane movie.
Well, and there were times, and I know it's a movie about ideas, okay? But there were times where I was just like, this utopia that he's describing, like the only real difference is that instead of the buildings being like straight blocks, they're swirls.
It's like
I was like,
living
is that?
Adam Driver's.
It's like that Hudson Yard thing over there.
Yeah, it's like
I looked at it and I was like,
swirls.
oh, wait, is that what it is?
It to me seems
What
like the
else is
future
it?
is that we would all be living in a version of a pinball machine. Like it's like, ooh, it all looked like people were traveling in pinballs and they would go around in pinballs.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I didn't understand I want to build a casino. I want to build a pinball machine. And it's like, and it seems like those ideas could probably exist together.
So much of it is analogous to the Roman Empire and all this stuff. And I'm just not one of those people who's obsessed with the Roman Empire.
No.
So I was like, I don't give
I
a
didn't like
fuck about any of this stuff. And it seems to be just consumed with legacy and time. And the artist needs to be able to control time.
Well,
and I was like, buddy, That's not going to happen. We are all hurtling towards certain death.
And I didn't understand. I mean, at points in the movie, I was like, the female characters are so underwritten. I'm so upset. But then also I was upset by the male characters, too. So it was really tough. I mean, the movie does not pass the Bechdel test on any level, but also
Doesn't pass the movie test.
It doesn't like, what is...
Is it a movie?
Who
I don't know.
Who is Jason Schwartzman in this movie?
Great question.
Who is that character?
Who's Dustin Hoffman?
Who's Dustin Hoffman?
What's the story of the dead wife?
Don't
right?
know.
And when he goes to that apartment and he's with his dead wife sitting over her, and Natalie Emanuel has followed him there and she's spying on him, and it turns out he's talking to an empty bed. I was like, what is this?
Not only is he
gonna fuck the empty bed MacGruber style?
Not only is he like talking to her. He's not talking to an empty bed. He's tying her hair. Like he's French braiding her hair.
But doesn't he imagine there to be other people in the room as well?
Yes, and I think
what is that?
I think that the other actress, the mayor's daughter, can see his visions. Right, their baby won't stop he can stop time. She can see his visions because she sees him go to a flower shop that I don't think is real. Get flowers to go visit his wife, which is also not real. But is he actually going to an abandoned building?
Or is he just in a mind palace?
And why wouldn't he just do that in his own house? But then he also has a flock of kids working for him.
Okay, I want to talk about the design department. What are they called? The design architects department?
Yes, the building
association,
authority.
The design association, yes. Whoever they are,
The
DA.
We call it the DA.
When they are in his main work loft.
One of my favorite scenes.
Oh my God.
They are doing physical.
The montage. There's multiple scenes in this movie. There's multiple scenes in this movie that I am certain employed the Pilobolus dancers. There's no doubt in my mind. The fetus scene where the fetus
that
then
was
turns
awesome.
into dancers. I was like, fucking Pilobolus dancers.
We've watched a lot of long movies on this podcast. I was like, I'm in. I don't know why I'm so in. Like I'm having this, I'm really wrestling with what am I watching? I don't get it. I don't like it. But I'm also like, I can't look away and I need to see it again.
Do we need to buy it again?
Well, we've already bought it so many times. I think Francis Ford Coppola will come over to our house and do a director's commentary if asked.
No, here's the thing. I'm sorry I have to go back to the shape people again because I just want to know what we end up seeing in the actual space, in his realized vision. Are those swirls the shapes that they had been creating?
Yeah. But
Wow.
I believe his architecture studio, which is in like the dome of the Chrysler building, or whatever that's called.
Alternate. It's not the Chrysler. Whatever. Maybe it's called the Heisler building.
Yes, of course. Do you guys? Because this is New York. Did you guys feel like this movie got your city right? Did you feel seen by this movie, New York City?
A movie shot in New York and filmed in Atlanta.
That's right, New Rome.
But here's the thing: when you see, yes, we see kids, we see upside down water bottles and tennis balls representing a city. But then when he brings somebody out
the trash, the model of the city that looks like it's just piled up from the trash. Like,
walk around, close your eyes. All right.
Why? You're an architect. If you look at an architect build a model, it's not built with like trash from the garbage outside.
No,
it's not like we found a tennis ball and put it on a parking cone.
Especially because he is using real architectural tools. He is standing with, I don't know.
A T-square?
Yeah, T-square, like,
Is it called a T-square? What's it called?
I did want to see him get crucified on that.
T-square? Wait, is there an architect in the house? Raise your hand. Architect I'm not interested in a balcony architect.
Yeah, okay.
I'm interested in an architect that got their act together enough to get floor seats.
All right. What is it? It's a T-square. It is a T-square. All right, well, thank you. All that for we already knew it. Then I appreciate it. Nothing wrong that you did. All right, so it is a T-square. Here's what I'll say. When he goes to the expo to show off his main invention, it's just a motorized walkway. Like, he's like, this will take you wherever you want to go. It's like, I just did that at the airport.
This felt a lot like. Do you remember when the Segway came out, when they were calling it the It, and it was going to revolutionize commuting and travel in America, and they wouldn't announce what it was, and everybody's like, "This, what's his Dean Kamen? Was that the guy's name that invented it? He's got this thing. It's about to change the world. We're about to change history. Cities are going to look different. Global warming is going to get changed by this, and it's this fucking scooter with gyroscopes." And everybody was like, "No, guy, no."
Well, that's the thing that was so funny about the walkway. I mean, that's what it is. It's a walkway. We never saw people transport on it. We only ever saw them walk on it. Like, wow.
Yeah, right. But then they get in those balls at the end.
Oh, I guess they do get in the balls at the end. But it was also when he's showing his mom. I mean, we haven't talked about the relationship with the mom, but when he's showing her the walkway, it looks like it's 10 feet long.
Yes.
That's it. Where is she going to go? She's going to be kicked right off it.
I feel like that's like Elon Musk building like some length of a Hyperloop or whatever that thing is called, just to be like, see, I can do it. But and this was him being like, this is what it'll look like, but it'll be all over, and it'll go to these buildings that look sort of like plants. And then that's it? Is it just what is it? What does he want to do?
I think it's a vibe, ultimately.
It's a vibe.
A vibe.
It's a vibe.
Megalopolis is a vibe. I buy that.
Honestly, I do think, though, that it is a lifestyle more than anything else.
Yeah. It's the kind of lifestyle in a city where the news reports they're the richest kids in the world, and rumor has it they're sleeping with each other, too. Why did that keep coming up?
It is, I mean, according to my research, Caesar proposes using Megalon to build Megalopolis, a utopian urbanist community. And Cicero wants a casino that will provide an immediate tax revenue.
Wait a minute. That's the first I'm hearing about a casino.
Oh,
You
casino
did hear
is in
about
that
it.
opening scene when they're on the rafters and they go, we want to build this casino. And Dustin Hoffman's like, it's a good casino.
And
I mean, listen.
And that's when he comes in and does To Be or Not To Be?
Yes.
I see.
But the problem is, and maybe it's there and I missed it, but I guess we all know that's why casinos come into town for the tax stuff, but that was not made explicitly clear in the movie. So
Nothing.
I was sort of like, why does he want a casino so bad?
And also, why would they need to get on scaffolding above a model of the city to show what a casino would look like?
I don't know, because they're all looking down,
Yeah,
I
like,
guess.
this is the way to look at it.
The difference, they're two competing interests. One is a single casino and one is an entire city. That's two very different things.
And I did want Adam Driver's character, Catalina.
Yeah,
Catalina.
Caesar
Catalina. Okay.
Double
Caesar.
C, baby.
I did want C squared to address.
By the way, I will say, Caesar Catalina is my favorite salad dressing.
I did want him to address like the infrastructure issue of Megalopolis, and also like what is going to happen to all the people who are being displaced.
Oh, they're upset.
Does he have an answer for that?
Because this motherfucker's like independently imploding buildings with no authority. He's just blow it.
No, I think...
And also, and they're so close, like there's
It's too
no
close.
protective gear. There's not a safety goggle in sight.
Well, that's what I thought the Megalon was like protecting, but then the Megalon doesn't really come. But I think that this movie at points is...
Also, why is his wife somehow inside of the Megalon? Like whenever he's like interacting with the Megalon in its fractal glory, her face is looking through it
because
and she's talking to him.
See, I thought he found the Megalon when he went into the ocean after her.
Yes, that's what he did.
I think that's
where
what the movie wants us to think.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't
so
think we ever saw that.
I thought you said he found it in space.
I think the
it is
Megalon
from
came,
space.
but it crashed in the water.
Space, but it's in the water. Okay.
I mean, unless, I'm so sorry. I know we have some architects here. Is there a Megalon expert here?
I will, Okay, so a Soviet satellite
Oh, yes.
crashed to Earth destroying most of New Rome, and then Caesar
yes,
builds Megalopolis out of the ruins using his family forces to fund the project.
Okay, so then why blow up part of the city if in the middle of the movie the satellite is going to destroy part of the city? Like, what's the why? Like, why not just have the satellite land and be like, by the way, I don't need all the 9/11-esque footage. That is the result. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Here's what I will say about this movie. I feel like sometimes you get a director of a certain age who is like, I need to make a movie to justify that I've been an asshole my entire life, but I'll put it in a fable, right? It's like, you see, it doesn't have to always make sense. Just ideas, right? Like, let me cook, and also fuck some people. That's not my wife. Now, I think at parts, this movie thinks it's so smart and treats us like we're so dumb. Like, it's like when they're driving through the bad part of town, and like the justice statue is like crumbling down.
I like that part.
Leaning up against the wall.
She's so tired, Justice.
I like that part.
There's just so much injustice in this world.
But you see, now look, that's a visual, beautiful thing, sure. But then you cut to the car, and he's like, justice is fallen down. It's like, well, no, we just saw it. It's not a fucking radio play.
Here's the thing that I'll say, because I want to agree with you both. Adam Driver, I think, he's in all of this movie.
Yes.
He's
in
all over
every frame.
He's doing all of the work, trying valiantly to make sense of a movie that is frankly batshit crazy. The thing about watching Plaza or Shia or whatever is they get to just spiral off and be nuts. But Driver's gotta hold the whole thing together, and he's doing, I will say, a Nicolas Cage level performance.
I thought it was great.
One of the only Coppolas not in this movie, inexplicably. Talia Shire's in the house. Schwartzman's in the house.
James Caan was supposed to be in this movie. It was going to be his swan song. He was like, Francis, you got to write me a swan song. And the part that was written for him was the part of Dustin Hoffman. But James Caan passed away before they shot it. Now, here's the thing.
And what part was that exactly?
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing.
He dies off camera.
He dies off camera. And then when they flash to it in a horrific way... But why even have it at all?
He also has a statue in the yard or whatever, and at a certain point, they're unveiling, is it the statue of John Voight, and it keeps wobbling back and forth because it's clearly just made out of plastic. And the giant bronze statue, they're trying to take the curtain off it, it's just like wobble, wobble, wobble. And I was like, you couldn't get a take where the statue doesn't wobble?
It's really tough because you have some incredible actors playing like handmaidens to other men. Like there's Dustin Hoffman, who I guess is John Voight's second in command.
Yeah.
There's Jason Schwartzman. There's Lawrence Fishburne, who's like putting chairs in front of, Adam Driver. And I'm like, why the fuck are these guys playing these roles? That's why I really appreciated Adam Driver, is because he was fully doing whatever it is that he was doing. He really was, and I was like, "Wow, hats off!" I believe that man deserves an Oscar for this film.
I would give him
to do what he did.
I wish we could write in. I wish we could write in for Oscars.
By the way, it still could get nominated. It's in contention. This is Oscar season. People are jockeying for it. I will say this: I don't disagree that he's in a Nicolas Cage-esque film, but I do think he's grounding it in a way when he's doing that speech. He's like, "What are those things? They're little hot dogs and pastries.
Incredible. I loved it.
Pigs in a blanket. Yes, that's what they are." I was like, wow. And he's not like, he's not
damn it,
scene-chewing.
I'm interested in what he's saying. Now, do I understand it? No.
In the scene where he's doing all of his architecture that we just we're doing that montage, he turns to somebody at one point, late into it, and goes, what if what connects power
I wrote this down.
stores it? I was like, yeah, man.
But
what?
By the
Are
way,
you only now getting to that? You've got Megalon.
This is why I think the movie is so smart and so dumb. It's like, oh, yeah, power should be stored and controlled. But then they also have this scene, like, my favorite line of the whole movie is someone is being interviewed by a high school newspaper, and it's called Dingbat News.
Incredible. Incredible.
Dingbat News. Hey, I'm from Dingbat News. And then it was like, I guess a commentary on how like sensational entertainment reporters are. I don't know.
I don't know. I was confounded by that scene, and I think I'll think about it for the rest of my life because it did not feel like that the teenage reporter was an actor. And I say that as a compliment. Like Thank you. It's his granddaughter. Perfect.
Thank you, audience.
I knew it was. And I didn't, but I did. I knew something. There was a texture to how she was. I was like, this is not someone who's an actor. But then there was also another little girl next to her. Now, that little girl, I was like, there's no way she goes to the same school and like reads that newspaper. She's way too young. Who is that? And she doesn't have any lines. I don't think she speaks. Is that just another granddaughter?
That's my guess.
Wow.
Why not? This felt like a grandpa giving everybody candy. Everybody gets candy, and guess what? You can do whatever you want all day.
But
No, there are no rules.
here's what it will be. It's not candy. It's old nuts. Like they've been out for a while. Like they're in a jar. Like, why? These are the nuts, the company's nuts. And it's a lot of them are just like left like those big walnuts. And they're like, and you're, yeah, it is technically food. But I'm like, I don't want it. Have a nut. And then you have to like take one of those big like almonds. Like, all right, I guess. That's what this movie feels like.
Everything okay, buddy?
Just thinking about those damn nuts.
I feel like you got to say your favorite line. I'm going to say my favorite line right now, which was, no, 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 no. We talk about the fact that we take notes. You're not seeing us if you're listening. We're looking at our notes. Never have I taken so many notes that I'm looking back on and finding confusing as to what they might refer to.
I didn't write jokes.
I don't know.
I just wrote things like Noxzema face. And I wrote Noxzema face
I wrote
because...
Megalon face.
Okay, so Noxzema...
After his injury, I was like, I think he's had some Megalon done.
See, I like that Megalon face. I was talking about Cicero's wife, the mayor's wife. When he gets that phone call in the middle of the night, it looks like his wife just has Noxzema all over her face.
Yeah.
And I was like, I always heard that Noxzema, like you wash your face with Noxzema. I don't think you leave it on like as a base coat.
I mean, I think it was a mask, but believe me, I had questions. I was like, how could you ever go to sleep with that thick of a mask on?
So why does he Bruce Wayne it?
That's so weird. I also read, I believe this movie would function better as a Batman-esque origin story.
Yeah.
Driver feels like at a certain point, he has no choice but to become a vigilante. And when he gets shot in the eye, I'm like, here we go. Perfect setup. Let everybody believe you're dead. Come back as some sort of Megalon guy. I don't know what it does, but be a Batman.
He does have powers. Here's the question I have about powers. And Julia, why does she have powers?
Why?
I think what we're trying to get here is a little bit of like a Romeo and Juliet thing. It's like, here are two sides. Hatfield and McCoy. It's like, he's got the power to stop time.
From Romeo and Juliet, the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yes.
Of course.
Classics.
Romeo, oh Romeo, where
are my cattle?
Romeo?
But I think the idea is that like the only thing that can bring both houses together is like both houses have a special thing. So she has the ability to see what he sees in his head. He has the ability to stop time, and their baby is
I think their baby
everything.
is trapped in that moment.
Well, that's what I wrote.
Is going to
I wrote that too.
absolutely
The baby
die.
doesn't have the ability
No.
to say restart time.
That baby's still crawling around right now, trying to figure out how to survive.
I thought that if that baby took off on the carpet like at the end of Aladdin, like,
Yeah.
it's a whole new world. Boom.
But I would have loved it if it was a flying carpet. It looked like a little
looked like
flying
it.
carpet.
Wait, but here's what I guess this is the only problem I had with the movie.
Yes.
Yes, it's a movie about these big ideas, but I felt like the fact
But
that he
is
had. Well, I don't know. But I felt like the fact that he had superpowers was undermining whatever this movie was trying to tell us.
Well, I think the theme there is this line, which Julia says to Caesar, Catalina. Artists can never lose their control over time.
I wrote that down.
I have an update. They can.
Yeah.
There's something about, like, the movie wants to be about how art or the artist can stop and engage
I think the idea is you need to let me cook, right? And then and we'll figure it out later. And that's if you look at Francis Ford Coppola, that's his career in a nutshell, right?
But I guess
his
why
career
I'm debating
is
this.
don't trust me, I'll make Apocalypse Now. And then he's like, don't trust me, I make Dracula. Don't trust me, and then it gets worse and worse. Everyone gets a little.
But what does he do with the time he's frozen? Because that's also what I didn't understand. Once he's
drink.
Why
once
is he
he's
seeming
freezing time,
Why
he's
does he
just
walk off the Chrysler building and say stop time? And then he's like, whoa.
Because I think that's him learning the power. I think that's the first time he's doing.
Really?
I think
That's
he did
the
it
first
once.
Why would he say it?
Because
You laugh. Don't laugh at me. That's a real question.
Wait, are you saying? So I thought stop time was him forcing time to stop. Like I didn't think the magic could happen without stop time.
I agree. But what I'm curious about is Paul is saying that's the first time that's occurred to him. So like that would mean as you are falling off of the top of a skyscraper, you think to say stop time.
Oh no.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Maybe it'll. Oh shit! It worked.
No, you see.
I see what you're saying.
Fuck! I wish I'd saved my wife.
I think what happened
I wish
was
I'd known this. I would have
But
stopped
I don't
time.
know. But
I think
here's the thing: he couldn't have saved his wife because he can only stop time. He can't do anything with time.
Why?
Or actions.
Wouldn't it be cool if he could like go and mess with stuff?
But he can't. He only stops it.
But then
And restarts it.
it's like that girl in that show.
Small Wonder?
Small Wonder is a robot. This is the girl.
Sorry.
Out of this world.
Out
Thank
of
you.
boom, she puts her fingers together. What I think was this: like he was at like he was at a pizza place, and they're like, "What do you want?" He's like, stop time." Oh shit, everything's stopped. He's like, huh. Next day, he does it. Stop time. Oh, it's like, let me go on top of the Chrysler building now. And then like I think he was testing it. Like so, this is like his. We're seeing him like, oh, I got something. But that plays no part into the film. No. It does like when I was waiting for a stop time bullet.
No, yeah.
No, but he got shot right in the face.
He never. Exactly.
By a child killer, or I guess he is not a child killer, a killer child.
So we do know. We know there are guns. Kids have them. It's not like everybody's got a tiny bow and arrow. I would have loved it if he's like, "Thanks for the autograph."
Did he say "de club"?
No, I didn't hear it.
Do you have that?
All right, so everyone said it, so I wrote it down, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he said "der club."
Do you think that's an improv, or do you think Coppola was like, the line is "der club"?
It's scene 4.
You find me cruel, selfish, and unfeeling? I am. I work without caring what happens to either of us. So go back to the club, and start to kind of people again.
There it is.
Fine.
The head wag is everything.
That is pretty great.
More time.
The head wag says it all.
The club.
Declare.
How was
Wow.
work today? Okay, I think.
Now,
I did something today.
here's what I want to talk to you about because I want to give it its due. When you saw this movie in the theater, there was a moment where someone
I heard about
was
this.
to walk in and do a line in the theater. Okay, they fix it in the video version. Someone just pops up, but it still is breaking the fourth wall in the sense that we're watching a linear movie, and then all of a sudden we're watching a movie screen and someone's standing up in front of the movie screen. And so
play that.
Okay, I will. I'm going to first play this.
I was in an active blackout for much of watching. I have so little memory.
So you would be watching the movie, right? Watching the movie.
I'd rather not be.
And then this would happen. I would just stand up and go, Mr. Catalina, you said that as we jump into the future, we should do so unafraid. But what if, when we do jump into the future, there is something to be afraid of? And then he would answer me, and I would leave the theater.
That's it?
Yes.
That's the whole bit? What's that meant to do?
I don't know. But they couldn't figure out enough people to do it. So a lot of the times what would happen is Adam Driver would be sitting, staring at the audience in silence, and then give his answer, because no one had prompted him. So the audience had this uncomfortable moment of like, I feel weird now. But this is the scene. I'll play that scene too, but that it was such an odd idea, but also so interactive, but yet not interactive, because it doesn't make any sense in the movie.
I read somewhere when it premiered at Cannes, and I think that this is what happened at Cannes, that someone walked up and that moment happened, but someone said the movie is both doing way too much and too little.
Yes.
And it's such a confounding experience of like, there's so much in here and there's nothing.
It is the quintessence of neither nor.
Yes.
It thinks it's a European art house tone poem, and then it's also interested in investigating like time and art and architecture and all this science and all this stuff, and then it's also not interested in any of that.
I said it felt like I was watching an acting class where two people, I can't even tell if they're talented because I don't know the text. The text is bad. But it's like, I guess they're doing the best job, because like I've seen people like, this is a scene from a play that you've never heard of. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I can't fault them.
It feels, you know what it feels like? It feels like, there was that rash of movies of Shakespeare interpretations that were put into modern context. Yes. Or it was, we're going to take Richard III, but we're going to put it in World War I. Or we're going to take this and This feels like it's that, but they were like, we're going to take not Shakespeare, we're going to kind of put it in a bunch of Roman stuff, but it's also New York City, baby.
And it's also about politics. Let's play that scene too, because I just want to go show you that scene too. This is the interactive moment of the film, which I wish maybe when we buy it, we'll have the option to have the line. By the way, Lawrence Fishburne does the voiceover as voiceover and in real life too.
And sometimes he does it, and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes text comes on screen, and he reads every bit of it. Sometimes text comes on screen, and it's just text on screen. There's no rhyme or reason. I don't know if he's telling me this story or not.
I don't know. I don't know if this story's from his own fever dream.
Yeah.
I watched Lawrence Fishburne in that scene, in the Der Club scene, and I noticed that he walked off camera, and then he's only shown at the very end. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker got out of frame real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Although when he does come back in, I laughed so hard. There are moments in this fucking thing that made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
He comes back on screen and there's some weird like space diorama hanging from the ceiling, and I
think it's pronounced diarrhea.
Lawrence Fishburne comes back in and just sort of resets all of the little ornaments coming off. And I just thought, wow, to let actors out there like this
hanging out there,
just trying to fucking stay alive in these scenes,
trying to effortlessly deliver lines like there are only two things impossible to stare at very long: the sun and your own soul. Wait, so I know I can stare at the sun quickly, but I can't look at my own soul at all. Never mind stare at it.
I just want to hit this one more time. Did Lawrence Fishburne marry him and Sunny Hope in the back of a car?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I wanted to say. I would say one of my top 2 performances in the movie is by the Citroën car that they drive.
Oh, I love that.
It has more character than most of the people in the movie.
I thought the way that it redecorated itself for the wedding was quite beautiful.
Beautiful.
Quite beautiful to look at. Now, by the way, who played Sunny Hope? Because I thought she looked exactly like
Vestra.
It's Haley Sims.
Vestra. Yes, I thought
Haley
so too.
Sims.
I thought we were supposed to make a connection between. I thought as well they were meant to be somehow connected, and they weren't.
I have
The
a
whole
very
story-
big idea. I have a very big idea that just came
Go.
up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is a Megalon
Megalopolis
theory.
type
You did
idea.
a shot of Megalon in the green room, so
I'm
and
ready
Paul
for it.
said a number of times, you gotta let these men cook. So, babe, just cook. Let
Well,
it.
you know what? Turn our mics off. Just Paul. Give him
Yeah,
a spotlight.
just let him cook.
Back to those nuts. Now, what if Sunny Hope was an alien that he fell in love with, and when she died, like that, like it's not like that he found the Megalon in the ocean because that's where it crashed. It's like she is Megalon because she's an alien from that planet, and that's why she is so intertwined with the Megalon. That's why when he gets it on his face, he sees her. She is one. She gives him the visions. She's like an alien race that's trying to like help our race become more.
Okay, I don't mind that. It's certainly not in the movie. You're
Okay.
doing a lot
Fair.
of work
Fair.
to help the movie
Sure.
because that is categorically not present. But I want to be clear. Upon getting shot in the head, Adam Driver is given Megalon treatments that
Yes.
ultimately make his head appear to be totally normal.
Right, he was
then-
shot through the eye.
Shot through the eye. He then takes Megalon
Hey,
and
Donald Trump
builds
took
moving
Megalon.
walkways with it. What are you doing? This is a medical breakthrough. This can cure so much, and what he's doing with it is making moving walkways? What is Megalon?
I think the Megalon was already like, it was like this. It's like, we can use it for moving walkways, but what if we also used it for gunshot victims?
Yes.
Like, so I think they just found enough. It's like George
Or
Washington
making a
Carver
dress.
found a lot of things for peanuts.
He also made a dress.
God, you are nut.
Wait, what's going on? Are you okay,
nut
man? Wait a second. Is
happy.
this episode sponsored by Nuts or something?
Big Peanut has got to me, people.
Is this festival sponsored by Big Nut? Big Nut.
Planters
That would be-
Comedy Fest.
That would absolutely be a thing that would advertise on podcasts. Get Big Nut.
Nut up. But I mean, but I think what we're saying is Megalon is a tool of an alien world. Right?
Wouldn't that be so interesting
Or
to make
something-
a movie about that? Nope.
But I mean, but like I'm just saying, like, even though the movie is not telling us it, that's what we are supposed to believe. It's not a material found on our planet.
I don't
I guess-
think so.
I don't think so, but I guess what I come back to is where else is Megalon in Megalopolis aside from the walkways?
Yes, and it's Vestra's dress is made of Megalon.
Oh, only at certain
Okay.
points though,
Right?
Because when she's singing that
Yes.
song, she's in a white dress, and then at the
Well,
end
I
of the song,
think that
she's
might
like,
be the Megalon looking like a white dress.
"Got it."
Because the Megalon
Okay.
seems to be able to change its properties.
So you see, it's moving walkways, it's dresses, it's gunshot victims, it's everything. But
I mean, yeah, I guess.
you know that they
I
went to
guess.
Taylor Swift for that part. I felt like they definitely went to Taylor Swift for that.
For sure.
I mean, it seems like it's yeah. I mean,
Well, and how obsessed everybody was with the fact that she was a 16-year-old virgin?
that old
Only to be-
man
Oh, it's so
bought
upsetting.
for $10 million.
$100 million. I'm so sorry, Paul, to correct you. $100 million to support
But-
her virginity?
That's what was so. I had to tip my hat to her, though. I really did, because I was like, this bitch is onto something.
Oh.
Like, she's not getting money. She's not raising funds for them to take her virginity. She is raising funds for them to just sort of salute it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
For
thought.
sure.
Like,
No,
For
I
sure.
thought
That-
the winner gets to marry her.
No, oh, I don't think. Oh.
Did you? I thought the winner. I thought
Hang
they were
on.
bidding.
We'll
I
only
don't
hear
think
from the
so.
architect in the balcony. Do you think that she was supposed to marry whoever it was?
No.
No, yes. There's a little bit of
Okay,
confusion.
let's see. Who says no? Okay, shut up. Time stop. Who says yes? Okay, interesting.
I-
I
do they-
thought no. I thought everybody was supporting her virginity, and then they play the sex tape, and then it's revealed she's a 23-year-old non-virgin, and she's stuck on the Mac the Knife half moon,
But by the-
terrified out of her mind in some sort of Colosseum where the wedding of the century is happening and people are being murdered? I don't know.
And she's just also like hustling during this wedding and making a buck.
Yeah.
It's also like, why put a hat on a hat, right? She's supposed to be a
This movie
virgin.
loves hats.
Oh my God.
Everybody's got a hat in this movie.
We have not talked about the scene, and you know it was improvised, where Shia says, pick up my hat, and then they all throw their hats, and they all pick up their hats. And that was truly clown work at its
was
best.
so
I was
good.
like, this
And
is so funny.
My favorite character in the movie, full stop, is Shia's sidekick, who we meet when he's the tuba player in a parade band. Shia's like, hey, come here. And the guy's like, drops his tuba and is like, yeah, what do you want? For the rest of the movie,
Yeah.
the tuba player is an essential member of Shia's crew. What?
And Shia's crew.
What a glow up for the tuba guy.
Shia's crew all look a little bit like Shia. One of them is Balthazar Getty, which is interesting. But here's what Coppola had to say about Shia. He is an actor who, this is the quote, deliberately sets up a tension between himself and the director to an extreme degree, and whose method was so infuriating and illogical, it had me pulling my hair out. He then compared the actor to Dennis Hopper in Apocalypse Now. So, not an easy shoot for Shia, or at least for Francis Ford Coppola, because Shia's doing a lot.
Is he? Oh, I thought it was pretty measured.
But see, there are, like that tuba player, I would have loved the entire movie to be about that man's journey.
Yes.
Like,
That's an arc. That's a character on an arc.
interesting arc that I think I could understand, you know.
And
Yes, rags to riches.
And is the tuba player the same one who decides to kill? He puts out the hit.
He thinks he's killing Caesar. He's also the character who, in the third act, appears to have the character from the Marvel Universe Bullseye's tattoo.
When did he
on
get
his
that?
forehead? And I was like, when did he become Bullseye?
I think, I don't know what went on there. One of my favorite moments was when Caesar Catalina finds out that he's going to be a dad. And by the way, this is often a trope in movies where men take so long to figure out this information. It's like, it's so confounding to watch. It's like, sir, you were a part of this. You have to have known this was a possibility. He takes a solid minute and we watch his face. And again, it's so compelling because it's Adam Driver. Go through every human emotion and land on we're going to have a baby. And I just, again, it's a trope. I see it in so many movies and it just delights me every time. The surprise.
But you're right. He is so good at landing preposterous stuff, such as the scene when they then, he and his beloved Julia, they meet with her parents, so now his soon-to-be in-laws, and Giancarlo Esposito is her father, who is the mayor, who is his sworn enemy. He's Cicero, and they are at odds. They are enemies. They play cards, but for the first half of the scene, Adam Driver's just carrying a casserole dish around, like an old school casserole dish.
Like the one that
Not
was
like an old Pyrex casserole dish or a Corningware casserole
That's
dish.
exactly
is
it.
actually what it's. The blue and white
Yeah.
Corningware
We all know
square,
it.
small size, casserole dish. And I was like, now what the fuck is this about? And why is he making it look so effortless? What's in the dish?
What's in the dish? What's in the dish?
What was in the dish?
What's in the dish?
There was
What was
nothing
the
in the
casserole?
dish.
There's so much. There is so much here. I mean, Saturnalia is Hanukkah, Christmas,
Oh,
New
it's all
Year's.
of it.
It's everything.
God, I forgot
It's
about
interesting
that.
because you were talking earlier about
It's
how
also Halloween.
everybody was encouraged to improvise and all of this, and who is the true author of the movie? Coppola has been writing it since the 90s. Actors were encouraged to write, but I would say a full quarter of the movie was written by Marcus Aurelius and just quoted by Julia. Because she speaks in just Marcus Aurelius quotes for, I'm going to say, 4 minutes straight.
Absolutely.
It is in WGA arbitration.
I was looking at here just like, so when he originally announced the film was in 1989, he planned to move to Italy to work on 2 productions in the next 5 years. And he called the film so big and complicated it would seem impossible. That's where it started in 1989.
And that's where it ended.
It's, by the way, true.
Yeah.
And by the way, so he went to Rome to make Megalopolis, and a year later he released The Godfather Part 3.
What's interesting is like that it is a New York movie. They talk about it being America. It is not interested in being like Roman or Italian or anything like that.
I think it's much more about, I think what it is, honestly, if I'm really looking at it, I'm saying this is
Okay,
Francis.
Paul, if you're really looking at it. Up until now, you've been looking at it rather obliquely.
I mean,
so if
You've
you
been
could-
looking at it like through a bag of nuts.
Yeah.
Just like,
I'm trying to get into.
You're
I'm trying to
looking
go
at it
into
through
that.
like eclipse glasses.
I'm taking out all the raisins of this trail mix, and I'm going to tell you what nuts are in here. I think what he's trying to do was, I think originally he was talking about how the Roman Empire got corrupt and took this really beautiful society and it fell apart. But then Trump came and he's like, I'm going to do a politics version. So he took the original idea and he's like, politics, right? And then it gets really muddy. And then it's like, because I think that there's a couple things at play, and that's what it feels like heavy-handed at points. It's like, I'm a populist, I'm for the people, but everybody is kind of like Trump at a certain point too, because it's like they're all kind of villains.
Shia is very Trump-coded,
Right,
I feel
yes.
like. And there is a whole section that feels very J6.
Yes, 100%. And but then I also feel like,
Okay, New York. New York's like, I don't know about that. We're on board for September 11th, but J6 was cool, right?
But I also feel like the other person for the people is Adam Driver, right? Adam Driver is like, I am for the people, and then when he tells everybody then they all get behind him because they hear his speech right before he's getting arrested, or maybe that was later. God damn it, I forgot where. But yeah, the end of the movie really happens very quickly.
Nobody's a good guy, right? Everyone's a villain?
Yeah, because Adam Driver's a drunk and he's a mess and he's doing a lot of things. I don't know, but is he a good guy? I guess so. He's got this alien.
No, I think everyone's a villain.
yeah, except for the baby at the end.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I'm sorry.
Well,
No, you know what? No, I'm so
Except for
sorry,
the
June. The
baby.
baby is a villain. I'm putting the baby in the villain category.
Wow.
I hate to disagree with you, but that baby was a fucking
the
asshole.
baby is now the only person on the planet.
The baby, yes, that
So-
baby's too powerful. How many years is the baby just like?
just scrounging around for food.
Just waiting to learn
little
the-
bits of milk.
Yeah, just like, and like what happens to the people frozen in time? But also what I noticed was when they would be frozen in time frozen, wind still blowing their stuff all over the place, blowing their dresses, so time is stopped, but the wind is still going.
Right.
you can't control nature, but you can control time.
I was very upset because at this point I don't think we know, or maybe we do know she can see him stop time.
Yes,
But-
she knows.
But she can't stop time
She
herself.
cannot. She's a time-stopping viewer, not a participant.
She's a witness of time stoppers.
But now, at the end, she will be stopped.
She will be stopped by the baby, or
No, but at the
or
end,
no,
when he
she will
says
be
freeze
stopped.
time, she stops too.
Or maybe she's pretending like Aubrey Plaza did when she was a statue in the bedroom.
Let's go to the audience and see what they have to say.
Not once does he stop time and be a creep and look at boobs and stuff.
All right.
Which, come on.
Hi, how are you? Good. What is your question?
So you kind of touched on it, but the end with his speech, right before everyone in the crowd basically wants to kill him.
Right.
And then when he's done with his speech, they're all behind him, but like his speech meant nothing.
Right. At that point, it would be really hard to get everyone back on board because they hate him so much. I know.
But
yeah.
that's how convincible, that's how dumb you people are. That's how stupid you are. He says a bunch of words and you're all like, yes.
And
Okay.
honestly, that's why the movie needed to be longer.
Yeah.
Well, that ending, I was like, you're picking up the pace here? Like, why? Why now? Like, we should have had a moment. Everyone's wearing great shirts out here. I'm not going to comment on all the shirts. You got a great shirt yourself there, sir. They're all How Did This Get Made shirts. Thank you for wearing them. Yes, okay. And you had the notebook. You did it all. I love it. What's your question?
The question, well, it really was, to June's point, who really was playing a lot of these characters? Have you guys ever seen characters fade in and out of the credits? Because everybody had their characters named except for right at the end where the name title faded in and out of The Fixer. Did you guys see that?
No, who was it?
You're saying that, like, the Fixer wasn't a real person?
Dustin Hoffman's character didn't actually have a name.
Oh,
or did,
I see what you're saying.
But right at the end, if you look, The Fixer pops up right under his name and fades in and out right before it does.
So maybe that's when we were being told who that character was, what his role was, really.
Just
very
right
end.
in the credits.
I applaud you for watching the credits.
I do
sir.
too.
Sir, I applaud you. The minute the movie went to credits, I turned my brain off. I died a small death.
These guys have had their hands up very passionately. All right, now you're pulling back from it. No, all right, here we go. I came here because
Okay.
All right, what do you got?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Did Julia pretend to be a sixth grader in their meet cute? Was that what happened?
Say it again.
Oh,
Yes, you're right.
She sneaks into the office by pretending to be a sixth grader, but he sees through that very quickly. But I think...
She's also dressed like Red Riding Hood in that scene, too.
Yes.
I firmly believe there are many, many scenes that were shot and are just missing that are the connective tissue for the absolutely bizarre nonsense that this movie does.
Fair enough.
At least we got to see Jason Schwartzman play the drums. Loved it.
Jason
Loved it.
Schwarzenegger.
I am in the balcony.
Watch out, Paul. Watch out.
Be so careful.
Hi, how are you? So what's your name?
Marissa.
All right, Marissa, what's your question?
So at one point, like, the mayor's daughter, I forget their name, and then Caesar were like on
Julia.
the bed, and they were doing like patty cake.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Do we think that was like before or after they did it?
Well, that makes me feel like, do we think she is supposed to be a sixth grader?
Yeah. Like, was that aftercare or was that like foreplay? Like, what's going on there?
You know, there's parts of this movie that you all are reminding me of that I think I very intentionally tried to put away.
No,
That scene was one of them.
This movie has such an unstructured Terrence Malickian kind of tone poem vibe, but none of it makes sense and none of it's interesting.
It's as if there's a million puzzle pieces on the floor and we all remember a handful. And
I love
we
a
push
puzzle.
it all to you. I love a puzzle too. And what's your question?
So they have like television and obviously the like a Fox News type of thing. I'm just curious if this is like a future type thing. Like, where's all the cell phones and laptops and things like that?
The future is shockingly low tech.
Is it the future? I don't know that this is the future.
It's not. It's an alternate reality in the past.
It's just New Rome.
I think it's the future. I think it's futuristic. I mean, I only know that because like there's so many lesbians out and about.
Yeah.
And so I have to imagine that that's the future.
I gotta say, I loved, and I don't know why I didn't think I was going to, I loved Jon Voight in this. I think that Jon Voight did like levels that I was surprised at. He played drunk, he played old, he played Archer. But I do feel like he's doing a lot. Like I like when he's like flirting with, you know, he's flirting with whatever her name is, Champagne Wow or Sham Wow.
Wow Platinum?
Wow Platinum. I will say this, the movie does look beautiful in many sequences. Like I was like, oh, this looks...
so too.
I was confused that there was actually a Roman Coliseum doing Roman Coliseum things. And one of the things was like, okay, chariot race, got it. Wrestling, got it. Guys running through walls, weird, don't get it. Don't think that that's a thing, never heard about that. Looked cool, felt anachronistic. Obviously, we had an opinion about this movie, but there are people out there with a different opinion. It's now time for second opinions.
So if you care to find me, look to my Amazon. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves second opinions. And if I'm rating so low, at least I'm rating free. My love for Drop Dead Fred, Con Air, and Deep Blue Sea. It's time to find my second opinions. I'm flying high with second opinions, and soon I'll match them in renown. And nobody in Amazon, not Jason June or even Tall John, is ever gonna bring me down.
Amazing. That's it. Everyone go back to your
Great work.
seats. That's it.
You're done. Get out of here. Great work.
You did it. You did what we needed to be done. Normally we go to Amazon for 5-star reviews. Unfortunately, there are no 5-star reviews on Amazon. There are, however, 175,000 reviews on Letterboxd, and we went to the 5-star reviews, of which there are 5%. 5% of 175,000 reviews. Now, the most common rating, by the way, is 2 stars. Okay, so here we go. This is titled Portrait. This was a cute movie, and the people who didn't understand it are just dumb. I'm sorry, it's not even that hard. 5 stars. Soup 007 writes, New York better welcome this in the next 20 years, bruh. Caesar got a fucking crunch lab, and shit, what the fuck? Absolute fucking masterpiece of a film by FFC. I don't care what anyone says. Sex, drugs, and Megalon. 5 stars. Miju wrote, if I had $120 million and I was a film director, I would also make a film about the destruction of New York and the United States and dedicate it to my late wife. In my house, everything by the Coppola family is praised. Here, it's a 5-star film, and fuck the critics. Anyone who's a fan of Coppola's Old Testament, the Godfather trilogy, has to at least be happy for the director's personal achievement. I love you, Franz Ford Coppola. I love you. What you do now stays forever. Heart emoji. Coops writes, like if you built a time machine specifically with the intent of bringing Shakespeare to the present day and asking him to write a script set about a decade from now inside of 20 minutes while high out of his mind, and despite all of that, the whole thing pretty much makes perfect sense. I was on the film's wavelength from the start, and I stayed there for the entire runtime. One of the most sincere and optimistic films I've seen all year. In other words, I'm a big fan. Caesar clearly took massive inspiration from the Virtual Insanity music video during the design process.
I would love it if when he's showing his in-laws the moving walkway, JK just walked out and was like, Virtual Insanity.
Shelby writes, to be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Megalopolis. The humor is extremely subtle. And without a solid grasp of Emersonian literature, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. The fans understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these jokes. To realize that they're not just funny, they say something deep about life. As a consequence, people who dislike Megalopolis are truly idiots. 5 stars. Here we go. Would you recommend this movie?
Absolutely yes.
Yeah, it's something to see.
Thank you, New York! You're the best. Good night.
Eat shit.
That's all from New York. We have a great t-shirt that we created that night. Sex, Drugs, and Megalon. You can get that at tpublic.com/stores/HDTGM. I love that shirt so much. My book, Joyful Recollections of Trauma, is available wherever you can get your books, your ebooks, and all that sort of stuff. How Did This Get Made is going on a giant spring tour. Head on over to hdtgm.com for tickets and information. We are going to be going to a bunch of new places that we've never been before, and we want to see you out there. So make sure you get tickets early because they've been selling fast. We'll also see you up at Sketchfest at the end of this month. That's Dinosaur performing up there, and Dinosaur will be performing at Largo, along with How Did This Get Made's rescheduled shows in March. So check the schedule, check the calendar, check the website, check it all. And also, if you want to watch a brand new comedy show with myself and Rob Hubel, make sure that you are following Enter the Dark Web on YouTube. It's a weekly show where we find the weirdest stuff on the internet, and we challenge each other to test it out. Anyway, Enter the Dark Web, Rob Hubel, Paul Scheer. It's a blast. People, that's it for today's show. A big thank you to our amazing How Did This Get Made team, live on the ground in New York and also here in Los Angeles. We will see you next time for Last Looks. And by the way, if you have a comment about Megalopolis, we want to hear them. Just head on over to our Discord, discord.gg/hdtgm, and you can leave a comment in our Megalopolis section, or you could just give me a call. That's right, leave a voicemail for me, and we will play them on the show if they're good. All right, that's all for now. We'll see you next week for Megalopolis Last Looks.